Hello, good day, and welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Sipping Royalty podcast. I am your host, Reese, and I am back to talk about all of the interesting things happening in the world of the royals. And this week, I was going to talk about all of the royal fashion. Come on. I was so prepared to come in here and talk about Kate's Ely Saab moment and the case of the unfortunate darts that happened with the royal ladies this week and Sophie's terrible jumpsuit. But no, they said, no, you are not talking about that because we're going to blow shit up. And they split up the Royal Foundation. So that's what I have to talk about. Oh, I still wanted to talk about fashion this week, but the episode would be like way too long if I got into the fashion. So maybe I'll do that in another episode. The Ely Saab thing will still be there, and Kate's ugly what is it, Catherine Walker that she wore to Order of the Garter will still be around, and all of his ugly gloriousness for me to talk about on another episode. So the Royal Foundation. Oh man, you guys. So the rumors have been out there for a while, ever since Harry and Meghan split their household from, KP and the Cambridges. The rumors have been out there that the Royal Foundation was going to be split as well. So, I mean, it's not a shock that this happened. But the way that it's happened has been, it's been all kinds of bad. Just on every single level, it's been like really a fail. So I'm recording this on Saturday morning while I'm drinking 2 teas today. You want to hear about my 2 teas? I don't care whether you want to hear it or not, because I'm going to tell you anyway, because I'm the host here. Why am I so rude? I'm drinking Thai tea. It's a bubble tea. So I'm making my own Thai tea now, my own bubble tea at home. It's a whole thing that I'm into right now. So I'm drinking Thai tea and royal wedding tea. The Thai tea is much better. It's like warm out. It's warm here, so having a cold Thai tea is really good. I'm drinking the royal wedding tea because I'm just trying to get rid of this crap, and I haven't drank it since I bought it for Princess Eugenie's wedding so that I could watch the wedding in the morning and be all famous with my tea and crumpets. But I haven't had that tea since then, so I figure I have to use it now. So yeah, I don't love it. It's okay. I'm glad I only bought a small tin of it though. So anyway, that's my tea. And so let's get into this royalty. So the Royal Foundation. And so yeah, they split. I'm recording this on Saturday. Earlier this week, William and Harry had a meeting with the foundation board members that was in the court circular. And then I believe it was the next day that they announced the split of the foundation. And the press release from KP was, trying to spin this as a good thing, how they're all so proud of their work. And then the articles in the media. And that's where things start getting dicey because, I guess the company line from KP is that, William and Harry are going in different directions. They're in different paths. William will be king one day. They can't stress that enough. William will be king. And Um, so he and Harry are going different ways. They're doing their own thing. This is not, there's no feud. They're brothers. They love each other. But this is what's best for all of them. Harry and Meghan are going to, the Royal Foundation is going to stay with the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. And that's the new name, the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. And Harry and Meghan, are going to create their own foundation. Wow. And then, if you're not, if you're not ridiculously like naive, like Emily Andrews, who thinks that the creation of another charitable foundation with means that there's more money for charities and more work. Charities get more if there's another foundation created, which, can I just say how stupid that was? I hope she deleted that tweet, because it was the height of like stupid naivete. A person that's like you don't have to be an expert and nonprofits and charity work, because I'm certainly not, to know that adding another charitable foundation to the pot is not doesn't mean more money for charities. So yeah, if you're not like her, then you see this and you're like, what? I'll say right up top that I'm not even mad that they're splitting the foundation. Maybe that's for the best. Maybe it's best for all four of them. Maybe they really can't work together. They have different styles. They want to do different things, blah, blah, blah. So maybe it's for the best, for the best for, them as individuals, as couples, for their relationship within this family. As family, maybe it's best that they don't work together within this foundation. It is the height of hypocrisy, because it goes against everything the Royal Foundation is supposed to be about. Everything they stress within the Royal Foundation, it goes against it. It's supposed to be about working together, collaboration. I believe even William has spoken about the creation of the Royal Foundation is supposed to be to stop, redundant charities from being created. They could do everything all under the banner of the Royal Foundation. They could do whatever they wanted. It would all just be under the name of the Royal Foundation. And that is what's best, because obviously adding another charity, just sucks up air and money. And, that's not great when your express point is to try to help people. So yeah, it goes against their entire ethos. It goes against it. But okay, I'm over that. Whatever, you can do whatever you want. So the other thing is they want to stress is that that this is not about any feuding. It's about divergent paths for William and Harry. William will be king, and Harry and Meghan have a lot of freedom, and they want to do their own thing, and they're going to set up their own their own foundation, for which there's this happened in such a way that seems like really slapped together and unprepared to talk about what Harry and Meghan have planned for the future, or what they have planned for the future for their own foundation. Their foundation doesn't even have a name right now. That's how their foundation is really like in the embryonic stage. It's supposed to be set up by the end of the year. but that might be being very ambitious, but whatever, we'll see what happens. So the so it's not supposed to, this is not supposed to be a sign of feuding between the couples. It's supposed to be like a good thing. But the way they've done it has only doing this the way that they've done it almost seems like the purpose of doing it this way is to add to the rumors of the feud between them. And it's all falling on Meghan. It's falling it's falling on the Sussexes, but specifically on Meghan, because Meghan is the new person there. And she doesn't know her place, and she won't shut up. She won't just be like Kate and be quiet, because I've never seen people that love a woman to just shut up and know her place and not speak up. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. Really, all we have is the rumors from palace insiders about how, about Meghan, which, is not believable. And it's easy to pick her out from the crowd because she's the new person there. And supposedly, William, Harry, and Kate were all working together happily. But the tea from people who have been paying a closer attention to William and Harry than I have the past few years, even before Meghan, is that things weren't that great. So, blame Meghan if you want, but it is what it is. So yeah, it's all sort of falling on Meghan, and when they talk about the Sussexes Foundation, it's they want to do bigger things. It's stress the fact that or stress the idea that Harry and Meghan want to be, do celebrity things. They want to be Hollywood. So it's attaching them to, they want to be like Angelina Jolie, and so it's to try to, place this in a way that the Cambridges are doing things the royal way, and the Sussexes want to, do things in a Hollywood way. And supposedly they're going to have an American arm of their foundation, because that's what Meghan wants, and what Meghan wants, Meghan gets, because that's believable. We have no proof, that any of this is going to happen, that's even what the Sussexes want to do. But it's always, it's always time to denigrate Meghan and to make it seem like she's too Hollywood for this, or that she's always pushing to do things in the Hollywood way. And the Cambridges are doing things the right way. I got something to say about that later, but let's keep going with this. So it's all meant to push forward this idea that the Cambridges want to, they don't like the way the Sussexes do things, so they want to get away from them. Which, okay, fine. You want to get away, Cambridges. You want to you want to get away from what the Sussexes are doing. I don't know what they're doing that would taint the Cambridges, because that's what the tone is like. If you read anything, that somehow William and Kate will be tainted. Their images will be tainted by whatever Harry and Meghan are doing. Now, we can all discuss the way Harry and Meghan have decided to do things, and we can talk about what you like and what you don't like, agree or disagree. Nothing that they've done has remotely tainted the Cambridges. As a matter of fact, the the financial report from the Royal Foundation came out earlier this week, and the Sussexes have been very successful. All of their endeavors have been very successful for the Royal Foundation. The Hub Cookbook has been a super success. So, what about that? What about having that be a part of the Royal Foundation has tainted the Cambridges in any way? And then you have Harry's Invictus and Sensibale and Endeavor. And I'm really like trying to come up with how they're tainted, quote unquote, in any way. The other thing is that the Oprah thing keeps coming up. The fact that Harry is doing this mental health documentary with Oprah, and that's supposed to be like a sign of Harry being too Hollywood. He's getting in with Meghan's friends, and it's basically trying to cast this as Meghan's really bad influence and turning the royal family to Hollywood. And I cannot roll my eyes enough at that, because the royals work with celebrities all the time, but with Meghan, it's she's trying to be Hollywood. It's whatever. The other thing is there's the new thing that's come out, and it started a couple of weeks ago that I kind of ignored it. But the new line is in the media is that there are restrictions on William and Kate that I can't even take that seriously. Like it's hilarious. So there are restrictions on William and Kate that Harry and Meghan just don't have. There's no there's just restrictions. There's no indication what these restrictions are. There's not even a hint at what these restrictions might be. But just saying that there's restrictions on William and Kate seems to be, that is supposed to be like explanations enough. I guess as an audience, we're supposed to just fill in the blank. Like when they say restrictions, it's supposed to be like, oh, okay, yeah, there are restrictions on William and Kate. But if you think about that for 2 seconds, the next question should be, what restrictions? What exactly are William and Kate restricted from that Harry and Meghan are, free to do? Like what? Like what are William and Kate like not what can't they do? I really want to know. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. Maybe, like who can explain this to me? And I do want to give a couple of royal journalists credit, because nobody because there were a few of them that didn't just immediately buy into like the party line of the restrictions and all that. Richard Palmer, who I spoke about like not respecting, but hey, even a broken clock is right twice a day. He had a good thread about the restrictions and people, and saying that there are restrictions, and a lot of the explanation coming from KP, I guess it is not really believable. It's just, something they sort of threw out there, and I guess they're hoping people buy it. And I do see quite a few people on Twitter buying that, but I'm not. That the restrictions thing holds no weight with me. The way this has been done, the way they split the foundation before Harry and Meghan are prepared to announce what their foundation is called, before they're prepared to announce anything. So this all seems like it's coming really fast, and I don't know. It is it all it does is fuel these rumors of a feud between them. Um, it, it just it I don't know how, like, it doesn't really make any sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that they can't all work together in the foundation. Um because the different paths thing has always been the case. When Harry and William set up the foundation, they were on different paths then. Um they there's all it's always been the case. Like, they act like they haven't been calling them the heir and the spare their entire lives. So the fact that they were on different paths since forever has always been the case. So what happened now? Like, what changed things now? Because up until even a few months ago, they have been making it seem like the like things were still go like Harry and Meghan when they decided to split their households. Harry and Meghan were supposed to stay in KP. I think people forgot that when the announcement for the split households actually came, and it was announced that they were moving to Buckingham Palace. It was supposed to be split household within KP. Harry and Meghan's offices were supposed to stay there, and then all of a sudden, it's the household split. Their offices are moving to Buckingham Palace, and then the foundation split. So yeah, like, what happened? The like, they're trying to sell that there's no feud and that this was always going to happen, but the way it's played out, it doesn't seem like they've been preparing for this. It seemed like it was just slapped together and thrown out to the public, and just saying that that the boys were on divergent paths, and they have two separate families now. Is supposed to be the explanation for everything, and it's ridiculous. They should have done something about these rumors of a feud between them a long time ago. Especially if they keep if you buy into the fact that this split was always coming, they should have done something about the rumors before, because doing it this way just makes it look like, okay, this is happening because of the feud. It's not looking like, these brothers have grown up and they have separate families and they're just moving in different directions. It looks like these people are feuding and they can't work together, so they're just splitting everything sort of haphazardly. So yeah, that's that's the way it looks. And the PR is terrible. The trying to sell William and Kate as restricted, I'm not buying that. And if they're going to try to keep selling the whole future king and queen business, then William and Kate have to do a lot more. Now, I'm not one of these people that think that they're lazy and they don't do anything. And, I think that Kate's mental health work with children has obviously been very important. And from everything I read by people in that field, she is highly respected. So she gets a ton of credit for me for that. But both she and William, as the future king and queen that they want to stress, have to be doing a whole lot more than they're doing now for me to take them seriously. It just, yeah, they have to step up so much more than they're doing now. I mean, all the young royals could be doing more. I mean, Meghan gets a pass for me because she's, obviously on maternity leave, but William and Kate have to do a lot more. Harry could be doing more. Like, all of them could be doing more than they're doing right now. But especially William and Kate. Like, don't talk to me about how they're the future king and queen when their year looks like this. And I'm not just talking about the number of engagements because, that's not the be all end all. Obviously, things go on behind the scenes. But why isn't anybody talking about the whole Kate's textile thing? Somebody brought this up on Tumblr earlier this week where they were talking about, Kate needing to do, more. Kate went to what is it? The textile museum, and it was supposed to be a whole like thing that she was doing with textiles going forward. There has not been word one about that in I don't know how long. It's like, is she still doing that? Does that even still exist? Or is this, is that it? Was that one visit to the textile museum, all it's going to be? And just the excuse about the children, being a mother, I completely respect that. I think that it's, very important for them to be attentive parents and hands-on parents, but they don't work regular jobs and they don't have regular hours. So the idea that they can't be doing more than they're doing now because they have small children just doesn't play with me. Yeah. So it seems like people kind of want it both ways. William and Kate are restricted because they're going to be the future king and queen, but so why aren't they doing more? It's almost like William has just, the way people write about it, it's almost like William has just figured out recently at 30, he just turned 37 years old, father of 3. He's just figured out his role going forward. He's just figured out that he will be king one day. Yeah, no, I'm not buying that. I'm not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt in this situation right now because it's a mess. So yeah, if they wanted to sell this as not being, feud related, they needed to do something about the rumors of the feud much earlier. So yeah, the feud is there now. It is stuck to them. There's really nothing that can be done right now. It's going to take a while, a long time to counteract this. They could have done this a long time ago. The smart thing to do would have been to try to, push back against that a long time ago. And for some reason, some very stupid reason, it has to be, they chose not to. They chose to continue going with this feud between the two women, which is really shitty. It's mostly fallen on Meghan, but the idea that a feud between the two women in the situation is what's causing the breakup of these brothers. So, Meghan gets to play Yoko Ono in this, in this here, foursome, but it's Meghan and Kate being unable to work together that is supposedly, fueling this. And for months it's going on like that. Meghan and Kate can't get along. It's breaking up the brothers. Instead of looking at the two grown-ass men who they married, who are the ones that are actually, born royals and related. Instead of looking at them, it's let's just throw all of this on the women. It's better to feed into the stereotype of women not being able to get along or work together than to actually look at the two adult men, right next to them at all times. Then it's messed up. And, it's easy to cast Meghan as the Yoko Ono, but we saw in the case of the Beatles, it took 2 dead Beatles and 50 some odd years before Paul McCartney admitted that Yoko Ono actually wasn't the problem with the Beatles. It was the men. It was the men. He and the other one not being able to get along and, handle their shit, but so much easier to throw it on the woman. And I'm not willing to do that in Megan's case. I'm not willing to sit here and, watch it be piled up on Megan like she's breaking up this family, when we can actually look at the two guys who have always had, their ups and downs in their relationship, even though the media tries to sell it as the boys, who, are best friends and love each other. And that, it may certainly be the case. They are brothers. I am not sitting here trying to act like I know anything about, their personal relationship at this point. I'm not one of those people that thinks that, William is just the devil, even though I'm not a William fan. So if you're coming here looking for the William Defense Squad, this is not the place to look. I don't like William very much. But I'm also not one of these people that feels comfortable, saying that, William is not a good brother or he doesn't love his brother. I don't know. They may very well love each other a whole lot. But it's just, I don't like this at all. And I'm not, it's not fair it's not fair to Meghan and Kate to blame them for whatever is going on between Harry and William, because I think that has always been, it has always been about what is going on with Harry and William. So I think it's unfair to Meghan and Kate to treat them like they aren't professional enough to get along with one another. And it's especially unfair to Meghan because she's the one that always gets thrown under the bus and, just dragged for being the cause of this upheaval in the Fab Four, which it was never the case. And if they from the beginning, before Harry and Meghan even got married, they should have been splitting the household then. Which is why all of this is unbelievable about how this was always going to be the case. Because if it was, they would have started this way back then. They wouldn't have had a Royal Foundation forum with the four of them that was supposed to be an annual event. They wouldn't have had that before they got married to, trying to sell them as these four people who are going to be the faces of the monarchy going forward. It was ridiculously short-sighted. And yeah, no, you don't get to do this. You don't get to put out this narrative and think that nobody is going to push back or nobody's going to look deeper into it. So yeah, nope. At least I'm not going to sit here and let Kensington Palace try to fool me into believing that this was always the plan. And if this was always the plan, if splitting them up, if this split was always going to come, then everybody in Kensington Palace needs to be fired immediately. Because this is bad. This is terrible. This is not what you do if this split was always going to happen. So either they're lying or they're just really terrible at their jobs. And I'm willing to believe that they're terrible because have you seen Kensington Palace lately? I mean, come on. So I'm willing to believe that they're all just like really bad at their jobs. And this is not just a KP thing. It's been, just the royal family in general. The PR there has just been, it's very lacking. And, I guess you can blame the queen. The queen is supposed to be the boss of all this. And if shit isn't working, then, I guess you look to her. It's just, all of this is just, it's so messy. Um, and I'm sorry, no. I'm trying to get my thoughts together about this because I guess I was more upset than I thought I was. I'm not even not upset. I don't like the way this has sort of fallen onto Megan's shoulders. Um Even though a lot of people have already admitted that the feud was never between the two women, the the way it all happened, the fact that the palace never pushed back against those feud rumors meant that um no matter what they say now, it's always going to be about how Kate and Megan can't get along, even though we've never seen any indication that that's the case. Um, professionally, which is all I really care about. The only important thing is that Kate and Megan have behaved like professionals in public. The times we've seen them together, they've spoken to each other, happily. So, yeah. It's ridiculous that they didn't do something about this earlier because they're trying and they're trying to push this idea that William and Kate are, the stable force going forward. We completely forgetting that William is not even the Prince of Wales yet, so he's not the next king. He's not the next monarch. He has, his father is still in front of him. And there's every indication that it'll be a very long time before William is actually king. So, yeah, they're trying to push the idea that William and Kate are stable, and Harry and Meghan are doing things in a way that William doesn't like, and William's the boss, and this is not how things are going to be when William is king. And it's like, if the way KP has been run lately is any indication of how William is going to be king, then we have a lot of messy years going forward. It's just whatever. I'll say that I believe in the Sussexes. Everything we've seen so far, the Hub cookbooks, Sentabale, Invictus have been very good, and hopefully they'll be able to carry those over to their new foundation. So I believe they can be successful and do great things. I believe the Royal Foundation can be successful too. I'm not, over here rooting against them. I'm not a William fan, but I like Kate. So I want them to be successful going forward. It doesn't help anybody for either of them to fail or to be bad going forward. This all works if they're both successful. But this is not going to help feud rumors because this only fuels competition, rumors. There's already the Instagram where people are counting the number of followers, and it's like, ooh, Harry and Meghan are getting closer to William and Kate, and what happens if Harry and Meghan pass them? And Camilla Tominey has already written an article, at least one article that I remember, about how they're competing on Instagram for likes. And now we have two what are essentially going to be competing foundations. So good luck to everybody. Yeah. It helps no one to root against either couple. So good luck going forward, because this is going to be a mess for the foreseeable future unless the palace does something to change the narrative. And for the past few months it's been just to throw Meghan under the bus, and I'm not getting into whether that's KP or whoever. Because I don't want to argue with anybody about that. I don't want anybody in my mentions trying to argue with me about that because I don't really, yeah, I'm not getting into that. But they could have changed the narrative about this a while ago, and I don't know why they haven't. Um, the idea that this was just going to go away, even though they're splitting up households, is just, it's like, really, you really thought that this would just sort of fade into the background? Like, it has never been more clear that the royal family was not prepared for social media and the 24-hour news cycle, um than it is like right now, because it's like, you think this is going to die just because you don't talk about it. If you ignore it, you think this is going to go away. That works sometimes, but on Twitter, nothing ever dies. uh they should learn that. They should have learned that a while ago, that on social media these things do not die. um you know why? That's all I have to say to everybody, is why. um I will shout out to two posts on Tumblr, Laura's Royal blog on Tumblr, and the Sussex Royals on Tumblr. Not Harry and Meghan, just somebody who was very forward thinking and got that name early on. They both made really good posts about the split and their thoughts about it, and I would recommend uh, people read them. So I'll link them in the show notes so that you can read them. But yeah, that is all for my ranting. Maybe I'll be back with another episode and rant some more, but I can't think of anything right now. And I want to go play Wizards Unite because that game is fire right now. I would everybody go download Wizards Unite, and we can be friends on Wizards Unite because we can all come together under Harry Potter, right? um so follow me on the socials. I'm at Sipping Royal Tea on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. You can email me at sippingroyaltea@gmail.com. And the podcast is on YouTube now. So go to Sipping Royal Tea on YouTube, subscribe, listen to the podcast there. I don't know, comment, do whatever you do. So until the next episode, everybody, enjoy your day. Goodbye.